do this, but can I get a side of ranch?
Hey, you know what this needs? Is a little ranch.
I actually specifically remember asking for a side of ranch. Yeah.
Can I get some ranch?
Oh, everything is wonderful. But can I get a side of ranch?
Well, Brennan, thank you for being on the podcast, first of all.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of
I feel
course.
so blessed for being invited to this podcast.
When was the last time you served?
I definitely didn't beg you to be on this. For anybody that thinks that, I feel sorry for you.
When was the last time you served a table?
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute.
I stopped serving about probably a year ago. What month
I
is
feel
this?
like more than a year.
Maybe a year and a half.
Yeah.
It's definitely been a minute, so I hope I don't waste your time because I don't remember shit. I've been drunk for the past year.
Oh, nobody can forget their tall tales of serving. So it's been about a year and a half since you.
Yeah, it's been about a year and a
served.
half. For about the last, 6 months, I was only working weekends.
Oh yeah. That's
Yeah,
right.
which
'Cause
was
you were working.
kind of a dream come true. So that
Several
was like
weekends, so.
my goal. Weekends do suck, but I was dreading every single day, every single shift.
Yeah.
I was absolutely dreading, and so yeah, not having 5 days off in a row, and then sitting in an office in Venice, like 2 blocks from the beach, was incredible. So
Yeah.
those 2 days I can just deal with. But
Yeah.
for like 6 months on the weekends, I was just bartending.
Yeah. Yeah. At one of the worst places on earth.
Yeah, which shall remain unnamed.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
okay, okay.
Yeah, we don't want to
Because
get.
we worked together.
Yeah, we did.
For everybody who doesn't know.
Yeah. Do you miss
times.
not obviously our place, but do you miss bartending?
You know, I do. It was very interesting. It was fun. And it was just, I don't know, there was something about it. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was a fun gig. A little bit stressful with the way the restaurant had it set up.
Right.
But, you know, to me, it was better than the thing I didn't like about bartending was I'm an observer. I'm good. I'm great with people, but I'm an observer, and everyone that sits at the bar wants to have a chat with you. I'm an underpaid therapist, and so they wanted to have talk to me, and all I wanted to do was just sit in the corner, and I just wanted them to leave me alone.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be bothered. I just leave me.
We're just
Are we
trying to do
allowed
our
to cuss?
jobs. Just trying to do our jobs. That's
We're
all.
just trying to do our jobs, yeah. But they wanted to come and have a drink, and then.
Yeah, I feel you on that with bartending. Like sometimes you just want to go into your job and not have to be on. But as a server bartender,
Yes,
you always have to be on.
you have to be on all the time,
All the time.
which is good for people who want to act, which is every server in LA.
Yes.
Or 99% of servers in LA.
Yeah.
It's good for them.
Yeah, it is great for a lot of the actors and people in LA.
So you have to be on
Yeah.
basically the whole time, which is exhausting. But I mean, it's good. It's good practice. If you're an actor, it's good practice, I guess.
Yeah.
Serving is what led me to drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you know what I mean. Woo wee.
Yeah, that's a sound we all like to hear.
Sorry if I just blew everyone's eardrums out.
No.
Bartender, I need a drink.
I brought half a bottle because guess what?
You've already had a few? Is it a liqueur or is that just like a...
It's an Italian something.
Does it have alcohol in it?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's it has liquor in it.
Okay.
It's bitter. For anybody
bitter?
who hasn't had Aperol, it's like an orange color.
Can I
It's
take it
bitter.
for a
It's
while?
only 11%.
Okay. So it's pretty much like a
Yeah.
wine. I'm going to try one of your spritzers here.
Oh yes. No, no, no. Let me make it for you.
Sure.
Let's
There's-
as AMSR,
Uh,
ASMR,
ASMR. Yeah.
Shh, wait. I'm touching.
No, you can't speak.
No.
I can't. It's just so awkward.
It's very awkward.
Have you ever watched the videos of like Gal Gadot and her doing the ASMR videos, or like Cheryl from Riverdale doing them?
I don't know.
They're really funny because they're like, "What the fuck am I doing?" And they're just like eating, and they're just like,
Oh my god. That's horrific. That is. Oh my gosh.
"Wait, I'll do you one more."
Oh no.
Ready?
I'm so sorry to the audience.
Ready? Shh.
Can I get more ranch?
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, this is great. It's tasty.
Is it?
It's like fruit punch kinda.
Is it? Let me try.
Love the ASMRs. Yes, it is. He needs to set his drink down.
I'm drawing a blank.
Oh, okay, great. About your stories at work. Okay.
No. I have a story. I'm just.
Okay.
I just didn't know where I was going. Remember, I'm an 86-year-old man with Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure where I'm at right now.
Who's had two glasses of wine
I was
already?
just kidnapped from the retirement home down the
Yes,
street.
I did steal him. I did.
But I do. Okay, so I'm just gonna go right into my first story.
Go right into it.
If you don't mind.
I don't mind.
I was bartending in the morning. I was there in the morning one time, and one shift, and there was a regular.
Who's the regular?
He was a gentleman who would purchase a bottle of wine, maybe 2 bottles of wine, and he would proceed to drink them all.
Ooh.
This might be crossing over into like legal territory for the, place of residence.
Well, this has
but
been a long.
we
right.
we knew that he walked. We knew he lived right around the corner. So he was an awkward,
He
very
purchased 2
very
actual
awkward.
bottles?
He would buy.
Or he would just have like 8 glasses of wine.
No, he would buy a bottle. He'd come in and then he'd be like, "I'll take he'll buy a bottle of wine." Mm-hmm. I don't even want to say the name of the wine because that might give it away.
No, say the name.
The Echo Domani. That's not Pinot Grigio.
Pinot Grigio, yeah.
Is it Pinot Grigio?
Yeah.
I love Pinot Grigio now.
You tend to come in and get a whole bottle and drink it yourself.
Yeah. Okay, but I like to pretend that I'm not as the. He was just incredibly
anyway.
awkward.
Yeah.
Apparently he was in he had something to do with the entertainment industry. He was behind the camera, obviously, but he was very odd. So he would come in, he would guzzle a bottle of wine.
Yeah.
He would read a book. It would be the 10 o'clock in the morning.
What?
Yeah. A couple hours after we opened.
Yeah.
When did we open?
No, we would open at 10 o'clock.
Okay. It
Or
would be
11,
at
actually.
12 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay.
It was a couple hours after we opened. I don't know. And he would buy a bottle of wine and he would drink the whole thing. And then he would always say, if you I'll take another glass if you will. And that's how.
I feel like I know who this person, but I can't remember.
You probably
If
you saw him, you would know. He would always read, but he was so awkward, and then he would always get into these really awkward stories. Anyways, there was one time when it was mid-afternoon ish. He came in, plastered.
So we already came in drunk.
No. He was already there. He finished his first. He was on his second bottle.
Oh, okay.
But he was plastered, And he, so when we give guests, we give them like their glass, and then we give them the carafe.
Yeah.
With like
7 ounces.
7 ounces.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. Yeah, I need to brush up on my material. They'll never hire me back for when I'm unemployed.
They'll always hire you back.
I hope so. Fingers crossed. Guys.
Oh God, no. Don't come back.
But so I would just keep filling up these carafes from his purchased bottle of wine that I was keeping in the fridge, and he had a full one. So anyways, he came in, drank a bottle of wine, hammered at this point. He's been reading. Another guest sat next to him. I had another carafe sitting next to him, and I had already given it to him, and he's telling us, he's already bothering this other guest that came in. He's telling him the story that he's told me 45 times, and he's looking at the guest while he attempts to pour another glass of wine into his glass.
Oh, shit.
Completely misses the glass of wine, pours an entire glass of wine onto the counter. The guest is staring at him, then looks at the counter, then looks back at him in like horror.
Oh my God.
Like, what the hell is going on with this guy? And yeah, I that's one of the rare times when I was like, I'm not serving you anymore.
Yeah.
I was like, you can just stumble your way home. And boy, never seen anybody put down white wine the way he did. I mean, he could have been
poured it
like
all over the bar top and then just didn't even realize what he was doing.
Yeah. This is like a suburban housewife in a midlife crisis. like, okay, that's enough for you.
Yeah, you.
It's enough
sir,
for you, Michelle.
Michelle.
You just make your way home.
Michelle.
You're drunk.
You're an asshole.
This woman would come. She started coming in, and just backstory. She started coming in. She was your typical like kind of. She was kind of an obvious lesbian.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll just bleep that.
No, we'll
that
say
name
it.
out.
You suck.
So we'll just bleep
Why
the
not?
name out.
She's probably never gonna listen to this. B, you suck. Like if you suck, then you suck. If every single bartender there doesn't want to serve you, you suck.
She was a horrendous thing to befriend. Unfortunately, I befriended her. So this woman would come in, and and I've heard of her. This is the thing. I've heard the horror stories. She orders the same thing, and she complains, and she sends it back every fucking time. And so that's what she did. Of course, she comes in, and then they're like, "Oh, there she is." And I was like, "Oh, fuck! I gotta like greet her and take her order." I was bartending. She always sits at the bar.
Always.
And so she orders her food.
Food comes out terrible.
Yes. So this woman comes in. She's a regular.
Okay.
I have to serve her. She orders the same thing every time. She always sends it back. I help her. She orders, of course, the same thing that everybody told me she's going to order.
Yep.
It comes out. I'm like, tell the kitchen specifically, don't fuck this up. It comes out like exquisitely. And then, of course, it's fucked up.
Right.
Because
it needs to be fucked up.
Yeah, this is her MO.
Right.
So, so she sends it back, and then so we start chatting, and no. This was before we started just chatting. We got into it. I told her because she sent it back, so I sent, and then it came back out. And then she, like, this was a couple times I've helped her at this point, like the second time.
Yeah.
And I had heard that she was like this, so I wasn't going to put up with her shit. I already was, like, at my wit's end.
Yeah.
So, so I basically told her, I basically told her to fuck off. I was like, sorry, this is what you're going to get. it's not going to get any better than this.
Yeah.
If you want any additions, any sauces, anything that's...
What was it that was always wrong?
It was always one thing or another. There wasn't enough sauce. It was always the fresh Atlantic salmon. It was always the salmon.
It was always a salmon
Always
dish?
the salmon dish.
Yeah.
It was never, there was never enough, like, the rice pilaf. There was never enough sauce. The salmon was too small. It was always something.
Oh, okay. So she was just
It was always
annoying as fuck.
It was always something, and she wanted the sauce that was used to like smother it.
Such a
That was
good
on the
sauce.
side.
Yeah.
She just wanted like a gallon of it. So I'd always say like extra, extra, extra. But she would literally send it back every single time. And so finally I told, and she was like, she was such a bitch. And she did that to me, and I went nose to nose with her one night, and I was like, listen, fuck off. Like, you can go, I didn't tell her to fuck off, obviously, but I told her, I was like, you can go somewhere else if you want.
Yeah.
I was like, if this isn't good enough for you, you can go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And after that, she loved me.
Really?
Yeah. Which, I don't know, I don't know if that was the way I should have gone about it, because now...
At some point you just have to.
Well, I know, but now now she likes me. So I almost prefer them not to like me.
Oh, right, because now she comes to look
Now
for you.
she comes to look for
Well, not
me.
anymore, but she did.
And so she comes in, and not only does she look for me, but she still complains about the food.
Right.
But we're more like buddy-buddy, so she's like, oh, like, go get me some more sauce. Or,
Yeah.
I need some more rice pilaf.
Yeah.
Or my asparagus looks like it's 90 years old. And I'm like, all of it looks like it's...
Yeah.
Like, we buy asparagus from the 99-cent store.
Right, yeah, like...
Actually, the asparagus from the 99-cent store is better than the ones
That we
get. So anyways, so now she's like, we're like best friends.
Yeah.
And she's like, so, like, you're family, right? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And then now I'm her best friend. And she likes, I don't remember what her drink of choice was.
When I just had her recently, she drank beer.
She doesn't drink too much. Unless she's really going through it.
Yeah.
But now we're like best friends.
Yeah.
I'm like me the weird bartender that's a wallflower that doesn't want to chat with anybody. Now she comes in looking for me.
Oh, God.
And she wants to have a conversation, and she tells me all about her like long distance relationship and how she's like, all her problems, and I'm just sitting there and I'm like, oh my God, stop telling me this. And then I'm just an underpaid therapist.
Yeah.
And then, of course, she tips like shit.
Oh, of course.
So...
Don't they all?
So, yeah.
Yeah,
But she would always leave her Mercedes key on the bar top.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you bitch.
Yeah.
You shelled out enough cash to drive, be flashy enough to drive around in a Mercedes, but you can't tip me, at least 15%.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. Did you ever experience Joe?
Which one's Joe?
He's the dentist, the old dentist.
I don't think
He comes in, he would drink white Zinfandel with ice, and then he'd get a steak.
But he wouldn't sit at the bar. He's always cocktail, right?
No, he always sits at the bar.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think I've served with him a couple times. Sounds familiar.
We finally 86'd him.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. And a couple sips left of this. Why? Tell me.
Well, first things first, Joe is a misogynist. He's a racist. And he is just completely inappropriate. And I'd say he's probably in his 60s, 70s. He's a dentist, and he comes in, he thinks he's awesome because he leaves you a $10 tip on his $50+ check. And that's only if you pay him enough attention. If you don't pay him enough attention, he doesn't tip you at all. And so we've been having incidences with him saying inappropriate things to like the staff, like to one of our female bartenders. He has told her that she can't get fat because he doesn't like fat girls, and he likes the way she looks now. told her that she can't eat like mozzarella sticks and things like that. Has asked multiple times, like just inappropriate things about her. He's said very racist things about the Hispanic community. He is just a real piece of shit, and he even makes fun of stoners. Like, who makes fun of stoners? He's like, oh, those fucking burnouts. We used to beat them up in high school. I'm like, Joe, you couldn't beat up a fucking fly today. Like, what are you talking about, burnouts? Like, maybe you should smoke a little. But we had an incident not too long ago with some people at the bar top, and he decided to vocal his racism towards them. And so finally, we had enough people to write statements to get him 86. Oh man, it was a great day. You don't have to fucking come in.
You have to have people write statements to get somebody 86th?
Yeah. Oh yeah. You have to with corporations. You have to go through every fucking channel you have to get somebody 86. Somebody called me a fat bitch 3 times, screamed it at me in the middle of the restaurant while I was serving them, and they wouldn't 86 them. They let them come in still to this day. You know, I liked how you said that servers and bartenders are like underpaid therapists, because we really are.
Yeah.
People, we have to not only listen to your problems, and then we have to talk through them with you, but then sometimes there's cases where we have to, you know, help a couple out who's fighting, or, you know, like, figure out who's going to pay the check because they don't know. You know, like there's a lot of...
Or it's no, it's your turn this time.
Yeah. Or
I've paid the last 4 times. It's your turn.
Yeah. Or the judgy looks from like your significant other when you want to order another drink. Like, we have to be the one to, you know, make it less awkward and be like, no, it's totally fine. Everybody drinks 7 fucking drinks at dinner.
Everybody gets plastered all the time.
Exactly.
It's normal.
Exactly. Especially when you have your kids sitting right next to you.
Screaming. Mm-hmm. Annoying the shit out of the rest of the restaurant.
Everyone.
Really. Children are the vein of my existence.
Yeah. Do you know what I was serving a table, and I instantly got an idea about a topic for today, because I was serving a 6 top. For those of you that don't know what that means, it means 6 people at a table. And it was 2 women, 2 female adults, and then 4 female children. And I knew instantly that it wasn't going to be a good table, because they were Raider fans. And I'm sorry if you're a Raider fan, but you guys, you tip like shit, and you are so fucking aggressive. It is unreal.
This is only because you're a Browns fan. I just want to point
You
that
ask
out.
any server. When was the last... Well, you haven't worked a Sunday football in a while.
I'm slightly biased for certain reasons. Anthony's parents
Are Raiders fans?
Yeah.
Well,
my husband, basically, his parents are Raiders fans. So
well,
I'm a little biased.
When you go out
They're
with
great.
them,
They tip.
are they
amazing?
Do
they? They do. They drink a
Oh,
lot.
good. See, there's always exceptions. There always is exceptions. It's not saying...
so glad I found the exception.
Yeah, it's not saying every single one. And you're not bad people. You're just shitty guests at a restaurant. And these women were... And here's the reason I knew that they were shitty, is because I walk up to the table and I do my whole, hey guys, how you doing? Good. Can we get iced teas? Okay. My biggest pet peeve serving is how people are so ill-mannered. Like, they don't have... You can't say please or thank you at all. And then you're having these young children listen to you talk to people like that. So they're not going to have manners either. And it drives me fucking insane. It's one fucking word. Please? Can I have iced tea, please? You don't even have to say it nice. Can I have iced tea, please? Cool, I'll take that. I will take anything. But fuck!
Throw me a bone, bitch.
Throw me a bitch! And then I come at you with, you know, you have all your food out. I've checked on you about 15 times. Asked you if you needed anything. You hadn't told me that you needed anything. It's always when it comes time for the bill that there's a problem, right? And so I knew that they needed separate bills, and the woman that was, it was just her and her daughter, and she was relatively nice. She did say please and thank you, and she tipped me $5 on her $18 check, which is good and it's nice. But then the woman that has three fucking children and is letting them order whatever the fuck they want is copping an attitude with me, telling me certain things didn't come out when I asked you 1,000 times if you needed anything, and then proceeds to take her $68 check and write a huge 0 over the tip line with a line through it.
You're an asshole.
And it made me think of how unpolite people can be when you're serving them. And they did just a please and a thank you, you know?
It is, honestly, working at a restaurant makes you realize, it's either a magnet for unpolite people.
Right.
Or there's just an ungodly, and it's so unfortunate that the world has come to this place, but nobody has manners.
Nobody.
Very few people come in and they're like, patient.
Yes.
Like, first of all,
Dining out tip of the week.
before going to a restaurant, 1, expect a wait. 2, come in with manners.
Yes.
3, don't come in without having eaten for 3 days.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
I swear most people come in and they're like, we haven't eaten in 5 days. I need food now. Why isn't it ready? And it's ridiculous. It's, oh my God. I'm just like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Do you have to be so rude?
Right. Yeah.
And it's just ridiculous. Like, and then another tip is act like you're talking to like your son or your daughter.
Right.
Or if you don't have kids, because you're a shallow piece of shit like myself. Just kidding. I have a dog. That's my son.
Yeah.
Then pretend like you're talking to one of your parents.
Pretend like you're talking to a friend.
Pretend you're talking to a person. How's that? A human being.
I know that
We're
it seems like we're robots, but
we are trying to pay our bills. That's why we're here. Trust us. We wouldn't put up with half the fucking shit that you guys give us if we didn't have to.
Right.
Like, fuck off, you assholes. Seriously.
Yeah, no,
I just need my lights on.
That's it.
And I need gas in my tank so I can get the fuck away from this hellhole to a bar
Yes.
so I can forget about you assholes, pieces of shit.
Yeah.
It's heating up.
It fucking grinds my gears,
Yeah.
you know? And I had a shit day today, so really.
Ooh, so
Yeah.
you're hot.
Oh, I'm hot and bothered for sure.
Yeah.
It just was, you know what it is it's football fans.
Ooh, it's football season. Okay, as a former bartender,
Yeah.
you'd be like, oh yeah, that's like great. You have all the football people that come
Right.
in. You get like, drinks and shit. But it's like everybody comes in and then they just camp
Yes.
for the whole fucking day.
Camping
And
means they
then
just sit
They
there.
just sit there all fucking day, and you don't make any money.
No.
I didn't make shit during football season.
Yeah.
First of all, they were all assholes.
Yeah, all of them.
All of them. Secondly, they would tip like shit.
Yeah,
And
if
then
you
they would
sit-
sit there all day, and I'd be like, God, I just have, like, at least you get the satisfaction of knowing, like, with an asshole.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're only gonna be here for an hour
Yeah,
and 20 minutes,
Right.
at the most.
yeah. But with a football
oh
and
my
if
God.
you're gonna go, here's my tip of the day for anyone. If you're gonna go to a restaurant and you're gonna watch a sports event or whatever, and you're gonna be there for more than 2 hours, let's say you're there for 3, 4, 5, whatever, you need to tip extra because you're taking up a table that somebody else could potentially have someone else sit down and tip them off of their bill. So keep that in mind when you go out and you sit there for a whole 2.5, 3 football games. You're taking up a whole table. That person could be turning tables, making, roughly $20, let's hope, on average, if it's a decent sized part. And you know what I mean? So it's like, keep that in mind as well. But yeah, football fans, and they're loud, they're obnoxious. Everybody, my favorite thing is they come in and demand the TVs be changed.
Oh,
If you
yes.
want, right?
Yeah.
If you want a TV change, go the fuck home.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm convinced that none of these people own a TV.
Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right. Or they can't afford cable, which nobody can, but
Cable is really expensive.
it's really expensive. But
Oh, boy.
you don't own the TVs.
I do want to say, my mother, this is kind of off topic, but kind of not.
Okay.
God bless her soul, the most amazing woman in my life. Other than you. And
Yeah, obviously.
The other women in my life. But so every like few months, she meets up with her old friends from high school, basically. And they'll sit like at whatever restaurant for like hours and just like catch up and chat. And it's like 6 of them. And they'll sit there for like fucking like well past people's shifts.
Wow.
But here's another tip. If you're going to be there for an extended period of time, like over an hour, if you're watching a football game, what my mom and her friends do is every hour they'll tip the server.
Nice.
They
There you go.
slide over like $10-15,
right?
Depending on how much, and because they're the longer that the longer that your ass is in a seat,
yes,
that is our money. That is what makes us money.
Right.
Are those seats?
Yes.
Not really you, but it's like valuable property, and if the longer that you're just sitting there, like taking up that property, it's like it could be the difference between like fucking, I don't know, Los Feliz or Beverly Hills and Compton.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, is it beach property or is it fucking like the Inland Empire?
That's
I don't, it's
Inland
just
Empire.
I just don't like be considerate.
Be considerate.
Please. That's
Mind you, most restaurants have a 2-hour limit at your table. So a lot of you that get to sit there and nobody says anything, you're kind of, sliding under the radar. Your server's being polite by not telling their manager that you've been there for 4 hours. And mind you, we know how long you've been there. We know the second you walked into the restaurant. And when our clocks say you've been there for 3.5, 4 hours, and we're not saying anything, count yourself lucky. Because otherwise we can come up to you and say, hi, I'm sorry, there's a 2-hour limit on tables, especially when we are on a wait, and we're going to have you guys close up and get on out of here.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Just be considerate.
Some restaurants actually advertise that in their menus.
Yeah.
Like you have a 2-hour maximum, and if you're here longer than that, then we can kick you out.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Fuck off.
So fuck off. I wish we would do that. I wish we would do anything to stand up for ourselves, but it's hard when you work in a corporate place because corporate people are all about the money and they don't give a shit about their employees.
Yeah.
I can only speak for myself, but I'm sure that there's plenty others that would agree. It'd be nice if corporations cared more about their employees because we're the ones that make you your fucking money.
It would be nice.
It would be nice.
Even small corporations or not corporations, whatever you are. Restaurants
LLCs.
Restaurants or not. They don't.
They don't.
Bottom line. At the end of the day, the dollar is what's the important thing, and as long as they're spending money, it doesn't matter how poorly their employees are being. It's one thing when the company is treating the employees like shit.
Right.
But it's another thing when the company is and the customers are.
Yeah.
So now you're being fucked down the throat,
right.
Fucked in the ass.
And fucked in the ears.
And the ears, too, yeah.
Wherever else you have a hole, they will fuck you.
They will fuck you until you're coming out of your nose.
Yeah. And then they'll shove something up there.
Yeah.
Start coming out of your tear ducts.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I mean, they will... And with my incident, what they said is, oh, well, if they come in again and cause another issue, then we'll see about it. Even with, like... the incident with this this guy Joe, who is the way it's just, I wish that we had the backing of our management team to be able to go, you know what, don't ever come back in here. We don't want to serve you. Your money's no good here. Go somewhere else, Because, fuck, it just gives people a reason to continue acting the way they act. You know? Sucks.
I've seen a manager 86, somebody from a restaurant once. It was during soccer season. Things got heated. Apparently during the match or whatever, and then he decided to let off some steam to the server. Actually, the bartender. So she came out and she told him to fuck off.
Nice.
And she told him to leave right then and there. She's like, you need to leave now. And he's like, I'm never coming back here. And she's like, good. You're not allowed back here. And I was like, oh my God.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
And I was like, if only that happened more often.
And I get it, because with, like, speaking for our managers in the restaurant I work in, they have to answer to a lot more higher ups, and personally, the higher ups to them, I just completely disagree with them and everything that they do. They have no idea how our restaurant runs, ours individually, but
Well, yeah, because they a lot of them haven't been. In my personal opinion, a lot of them don't. If they were servers, they don't remember how it was, or they didn't work for a corporation at like that level,
or they didn't work long enough.
If
You move up that quickly, you don't really get to really experience the shit you go through.
But a lot of these guys that are at the corporate level are like, they're like bros and they're like frat brothers and they're like,
another pack of white supremacist douchebags.
we need another CEO, and then you come in. I have met the CEO of the company. I don't know if it's the same one. Yeah, I served him for a little while until apparently I wasn't good enough, so I got kicked off his table, and then somebody else who was my dear friend served him. Super nice guy.
You got kicked off the table?
Yeah. I didn't know who it was at first, and I was just like, yeah. Where he came in a jersey. He came to watch the game.
Yeah.
And super chill, super cool. He just showed up, and he was like, whatever. Obviously, I'm sure he was like a secret shopper.
Right.
But he was like the nicest guy.
And he kicked you off the table?
The management did, because they recognized him in the system, because he goes through, like, comes in, puts his name in, his last name in, which is very obvious. And then one of the managers was like, oh my God, like, I know this last name. So, that was cool, being able to interact with him.
Do you have a great story to tell?
I do.
Yeah.
So, I have another one right here. Let me just scroll through my... Let me just spin my wheel of great stories in my brain, my 86-year-old brain. Which one am I going to tell? I do have one that I'm going to save till the end.
Okay. While you're looking, and you start to read over.
So, did you mention Yelp earlier?
Yeah. Yes, I did.
Okay, well, funny story is when I was working... This restaurant that we work at, they have like the servers, and then they have like a level up from the servers, which you have to do like a secret little test.
Oh, right, like a senior server.
And then they have like a bartender, and then they have like the senior bartender test thing that you have to take. So I was like all those basically, and I was on the floor serving.
Yeah.
This night. I was actually training somebody, which I dread. Every time I come in and they're like, you're training this person, I'm like, oh my God. It's bad enough that I have to like go around table to table. No offense to like new servers. Love them. Understand them. But like I'm already dealing with shit. Now I have to drag your ass around and like deal with you too.
Right.
And I'm a wallflower type of person. So, which is ironic because I was also a server.
Yeah.
So, I was training this individual, And this was their last day of training.
If you have a server and they're training someone, have a little bit more patience. That person's trying to learn, and you being a complete asshole and then not tipping your actual server because they're trying to train someone to do the right thing is a dick move. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, you're right.
Thanks.
That's so true. So I was training her.
Yeah.
And there was one particular table. It was a mother and her very young son.
Yeah.
They're like an adorable family. I would have loved to see the whole family.
Yeah.
Super sweet, very nice. And so she was on her last day of training, which means she kind of takes the helm of my shift. So it's either steer it into an iceberg and everything goes straight to shit, or I look like a fucking god.
Yeah.
And I get lots of tips because I get to keep all that shit.
Right.
But I feel bad and I end up tipping them out.
Yelp, review, break.
Do you want to hear this Yelp review while you're looking?
I do, yes.
Okay. This is from, I'm not going to say her name, but a woman. She rated this place 4 stars. I went to our restaurant for work lunch and ordered a lunch special, salad and pizza. Apparently my topping wasn't available, but instead of the kitchen telling me, they decided to just give me a cheese pizza. I was a little peeved. My coworker said something to the server. Our server, Brennan S.
That's me.
Our server was Brennan S., and he completely took care of the lack of consideration from the kitchen and apologized even though it was not his fault. The food was good, but the server was excellent. He deserves 5 stars. Thanks, Brennan.
Oh,
so
that's
sweet.
the way I live my life.
Good.
5 stars. Well, 4, but could be 5. Anyways, back to my story.
Did you find the review?
No, I didn't. So I was training her, mom and son. Super sweet. The whole way through, had a little speed bump with their food. They left kind of they left like an 18% tip.
Okay.
I finished my shift, and then I get called into the office by the general manager, and he's like, yeah, so somebody just left a Yelp review. And I was like, about you. And I was like,
Well, how did they know it was about you?
Because the way they described it. They were like, and so he showed it to me, and it was fucking hilarious, because so basically, this woman thought that the trainee, that the one that I was training, she thought that she was training me.
Oh.
And so basically, thank the dear lords, it was a role reversal, and she thought that I was the one being trained, and was like, she said that I was doing fantastic, and that my trainee was doing a shitty job, which I guess that is it's a reflection on my part on the way I train people. But like I said, it could either go towards the iceberg and sink the ship, go straight to hell, or but it was interesting.
So she...
Are you looking for it?
Yes, I am. Okay.
Oh, also, what I need to add to my story is that she also, in her review, she said, and, okay, this is a tip. We'll add this to the tip section as well as to the story section. Mm-hmm. She said in her Yelp review, it's funny how after the fact, everything is, I normally am nice, or I normally am gracious. She said, I normally tip over 50%, but this time I just couldn't, because I felt so, underserved.
Very disappointing. This was 8 months ago. I think I found it.
Oh!
I think I found it. Okay, I'm going to read this off to you, and you tell me if this is the right one.
Oh, I'm excited.
Okay, she rated 3 stars.
3 stars? Okay,
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
And she said, where do I start? I'm going to be generous and give this place a 3 because of it being New Year's Day, when in reality a 2 would suffice. The service. From the very beginning at the hostess stand was below mediocre. There was a 20 to 25 minute wait that turned into a 35-minute wait. That's not the problem. There were at least 12 tables open, yet 20 people waited to be seated. None of the 4 people at the host stand had a welcoming attitude. Then I noticed people after me were being set first. Annoying. The waitress. For whatever reason, the waitress had a new hire shadowing her. Their standards must be really low.
Yes.
Is this it? She was sweet, but not great at what she does. But then again, maybe she was just busy. But still, you're a waitress. Another waitress had to bring me silverware, and she acted as if I ruined her day. Outside of taking my order, she checked on me once, which I then asked for my check. It took 10 minutes to get it. Then I hand her my card right away. Another 10 minutes. It was really difficult to not only tip her 20% of the check because it was a $25 check. I normally would leave at least 50%, if not 100% tip for such a small check, especially it's the holidays. The guy shadowing, though, seems like he will be great at serving. He came by a few times on his own accord while walking by following the other waitress. Is that it?
This is it.
Oh my god. The food, while didn't expect a McAllen experience, the food was very basic, tasted like something from a cafeteria. My 9-year-old said this place deserved only 2 stars because of the long wait and basic food tasting. Anyway, I'm sure there's an excuse for the experience I had, but unfortunately I will never be back to find out. That was it, wasn't it?
That was it.
From her photos, she does look pretty beautiful.
She was gorgeous.
Yeah, she said she lives in Las Vegas, Nevada.
But apparently her 9-year-old is the next Gordon Ramsay.
Right.
Oh, Mom, this isn't good enough.
Mom, 2 stars. That's so funny. I love how they're like, the boy following him was great.
Yeah, no fucking shit.
Wait, so why'd you get pulled in the office?
Because I think I had to go into the office to like ask something, or I was just like around.
Okay.
It wasn't, I didn't get pulled in for any specific reason, but it was just like mentioned to me. Hey, you just got a Yelp review. And guess what? They thought you were the one being trained. I'm like, thanks. I'm glad even
awesome.
when it's not my fault. So
That
good.
is awesome. See, I knew once you said one keyword, I was going to be able to find it.
Yeah.
That's
so
awesome.
it's just, I mean, it's just, and even in that scenario, like, why would she automatically assume now, like, if I were in her position and I normally tip 50 to 100%, like, I'm just automatically going to assume that my tip is going to be split between you. So out of the graciousness of myself, my, like, own conscious, like, my being, I would still tip 50 to 100% because I'm not a just complete bitch.
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah.
So, whatever. But I thought it was funny.
That is really funny.
You're an asshole.
This guy walks in, no reservation, and has a party of 20, and like is extremely pissed off and swearing at the host because he's not getting sat right away. And it's like, have you never went out to a restaurant? Is this your first time dining out ever in your life? Because if so, then okay, I understand why you're upset, because you don't obviously understand how the world works. But for people that have been to a restaurant before, where the fuck have you ever been able to walk into a restaurant with a party of 20 without a reservation and get sat right away?
Yeah.
Nowhere. Maybe a Denny's. And you know what? You sit there for another 20 minutes.
I don't know. I've seen Denny's be pretty full at some point. I'm a Denny's fanatic.
Yeah.
Go Grand Slam. Oh yeah. I'm a Grand Slam slugger all the way.
Yeah. I do love those Grand Slams. No. Yes, please talk about the crazies.
Okay, so on to another set of regulars that would come in.
We would call them specifically the CPs, the crazy people.
We would call them the CPs, the crazy people. They were very, very odd. I don't have nothing against odd, weird people, but I mean, for whatever reason, restaurants just attract people who are psychopaths, really. Mm-hmm. So these people would stay for hours. They would literally stay for somebody's entire shift, and then some. and it was a man and a woman. They were, whether they were boyfriend, girlfriend, or married or whatever, I don't know, but they were definitely a couple. Wasn't the woman
They were
a
married.
stripper? They were married?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, wasn't one a stripper?
She was a stripper, and he did the camera work.
Really?
And the music, yeah.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Is there like porn?
Yes.
No, I have to find it.
I know. I haven't, but I know. I know.
Oh my god. So, anyways, they would literally get the most out of their buck that they could. It was absolutely disgusting. They would, they were basically, they would basically, I don't fully understand what they were doing, but they were basically, it was fraud.
Yes. What they would do is they would pay through their the mobile app. And then the mobile app, to pay for the bill, and then their mobile app was hooked up to their PayPal account. And what they would do is when they would pay, they would call PayPal and basically what's the fucking word? They would
dispute.
Yeah. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah,
they would dispute.
The spritz.
They would the spritz. They would dispute the purchase every single time, and they would come in every single day. And so for like a year and a half, they had basically didn't pay not once. The restaurant that we work at caught them. But yeah, they would do that every single time.
And then they would tip like shit.
Well, or not tip at all.
Or not tip at all.
Send everything back. Everything.
Every single time. Whatever they got, they would send it back.
Yeah.
And then they would also, the woman, aka the stripper, would beg whichever bartender to make her like the absolute strongest drink, which as a corporate level, this is just an insider tip if you go to a corporate restaurant, basically every single drink is going to have the same amount of alcohol.
Yes.
It's
relatively, yeah.
Relatively, unless this is what they train their bartenders in. Every corporate restaurant is going to give it's all going to be the same. There's not going to be one that's like, mostly alcohol, unless you get like that like cool bartender that's kind of fucking over everybody else.
Right. Or it's just a little bit of a heavy hand.
Or whoops.
Whoops.
I definitely give it
a heavy hand.
I go definitely go a heavy hand to my favorite guest. I'm getting the hiccup stuff. That spritz is kicking in.
It's
so,
kicking in?
Yeah.
Wow, you're such a lightweight.
I know I am. But she would beg. Oh, I have the hiccups out. Crap. That's bad. She would beg to have her drink, like, basically only alcohol. It was like an Adios. I think it was an Adios.
Yeah, she would get an Adios.
Mm-hmm. It was nuts.
Yeah, and they would, she would ask for samples of soup.
Oh,
but then not order them, but then complain that the samples were cold. But every time she would order the samples, she would wait for them to almost come out and then go to the bathroom for like 20 minutes. And then she would come back and complain that they're cold. The guy, he was a germaphobe, and he would clean everything about 1,000 times. And then he would, if you brought a beer and it wasn't from a certain bar, he made you go back and get a different one. And mm-hmm. he would order food, and he ordered chicken once, like a chicken dish. And he was like, "Can you make sure like that the chicken's fresh?" And I was like, "As opposed to what?" And he's like, "Well, just make sure." I know sometimes like they make the chicken and and I go, the only time they make chicken and they have it like in being stored at the right temperature is when they need it for like a salad, and then they chop it and put it on a salad. If you're getting a chicken dish, they're cooking it to order. Yeah. That's how a restaurant works.
But even then, it doesn't just like sit out.
Yeah. And I just was like, Oh, they were the fucking worst.
And they would sit there for hours. The minimum amount of time they would sit there is like 4-5 hours. It would be your entire shift.
Yep. And then nobody wanted to take care of them because they were the worst.
It was terrible.
At one point, I just stopped talking to them, and the guy hated me, and I hated him.
Yeah. When I would see them come into my section when I was bartending, I would just let them sit there for the longest time.
Yep.
Until they would come up to the bar and be like, hi. And
Yep.
I'd be like, oh, hi. And, I'd pretend like I was best friends with them.
Yeah, and then the girl was always like, hey, how are you? Hope you're doing good. And you're just like, fuck off.
Oh, my God, I'm great. What, are you here to get drunk?
Yeah. And you're just like, I don't fucking care. Like, please stop talking to me. And that's it.
Yeah.
It was a blessing when they stopped coming, because we had to tell them they couldn't come in for a while because of the whole issue with the payment. And then they started coming in again, and people were just like, oh my God, like, how do we let these people back into our restaurant every single time? Like, this is bullshit.
Are they there now?
No, because they broke up. Well, they moved.
No.
Yeah, they moved to Vegas, and apparently in Vegas they broke up, and he had come back, and he came in one time and sat at the bar, and then never came back again. You would see them sit down, and you would just be like, fuck.
And you would cringe.
You would cringe.
And then if you were holding a glass in your hand, like washing it, you would just crush it in your hands.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Fuck!
I would like...
If you were pouring something, it would just overflow, and you'd crush the bottle in your...
Just to make him uncomfortable, because he was...
So is she still in Vegas? Is that what's going on?
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? She's probably getting railed by dudes everywhere.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, man.
She's getting railed. Any more stories?
Yes, I do have one.
Oh, you do? Okay, you've been hiding down this one.
Yes. Saving the best for last.
All right.
Maybe. I don't know.
Well, should I read this Yelp review, and then we'll talk about it, and then we'll do the last best story?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. This one, I haven't read it, so I don't know how good or bad it is, but it's rated 2 stars.
Yelp, review, break.
One of my favorite guilty pleasures is reading Yelp reviews, especially about the restaurant I work at. And so this is a segment I like to call "Let's Read a Yelp Review."
This goes out to all the
Yelpers.
And servers.
Yeah.
Who are working their
Getting
asses off.
ridiculed by these asshole Yelp reviewers. Okay, here we go. All right, I'm not going to disclose the person's name just so that they don't fucking cry and sue me. Okay. We come here often. At least we used to. After my last visit, I don't think I will be coming back. Now, when you say that, understand that we pray to God you don't. Okay? Because most likely you are a terrible person to serve.
Please don't come back.
Please don't come back.
If you have to say you're not going to come back, don't come back.
Yeah, we probably don't want you back.
Regardless.
Yeah. This is my favorite. I'm not one to complain. Okay. But being that I had a toddler that needed to use the bathroom... By the way, you need to work on your spacing.
Also... Okay, keep going.
No, go ahead.
No. I was jumping the gun there.
Okay, all right. But being that I had a toddler that needed to use the bathroom, and it was so filthy, I decided to bring I think you meant up, to the manager. Let me point out Okay, well, clearly this person has like an 8th grade, maybe even less level education. Because
Might even be an 8th grader.
If you...
Women are having children at a younger and younger age.
You know what? That's
these
very
days.
true. That's very true.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna Yelp, please check your spelling, your punctuation, because guess what? When we go and read it, I'm gonna judge you hard fucking core
At least
on that.
sound educated.
Let me point out none of the stalls had toilet paper. Let me point out that you meant to say that none of the stalls had toilet paper. And it seemed like someone had recently had a paper ball fight in there. Water all over the floor. Okay, so if they had a paper ball fight, then why is there water all over the floor?
Recently, they had a big
Recently.
fight. Do we check the bathrooms every 3 minutes?
No.
Just in case you're going to go in there
Yeah.
and use it?
Yeah. A paper ball
What day
fight,
was
lady?
this? This was probably on a weekend.
Probably was. And anyway. There was paper everywhere. She capitalized everywhere.
Oh my god.
Typical bathroom. Maybe just mention it to the host and they'll clean it up. Okay. Ask manager to please have someone take a look at the woman's restroom. A woman came in, pushed paper into the can, and just walked out. I went back to check to see if she had put toilet paper in the stalls, and she didn't. Well, did you mention to her that none of them had it in there? Because all you said was that there was paper on the floor, right?
Yeah.
Anyway. So that was a full-on paragraph just about the bathroom. Thank you for rating us 2 stars just because the bathroom wasn't to your liking. This little tiny paragraph is about the rest. The food took forever to get there. There was not many people there. Oh, I'm sorry. Are you the judge on how busy a restaurant is? I didn't know. I'm sorry, Judge McGee. My husband ordered steak, so I figured that's why. The food. ...
The end?
Nope. Then she
Oh.
starts a new sentence. My husband asked for his steak medium, and it was well done. Server didn't come back to ask if we needed refills. Customer service was horrible. Don't think we will be returning to this location. Please, you sound like people we wouldn't want to take care of, so please don't come back to work.
Please don't come back. Like,
Listen,
if the service wasn't to your liking,
then don't come back.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But I don't give a shit.
But also, like,
You know?
yeah.
There's only so much we can do.
Only so much.
You know, we're not like, we don't work miracles.
Yeah.
This isn't an act of God. We're cooking fucking food.
Yeah.
You know?
And you're not our only table.
Yeah.
When you walk into a restaurant, you're not the only person there. Okay? There are other people having either the same or more problems than you are. So maybe relax. Okay? Just because the bathroom was dirty doesn't mean that you rate it too. Kindly ask the host or a manager if that's what the kind of person you are. Oh, the host was, or the bathroom was messy. Okay. Send a host in there. Although, I will give them this, there was a point in time where we didn't really have any female hosts, so they couldn't actually, nobody could walk into the bathroom to check it. That's probably why. But, nonetheless.
Just gotta close it off for 10 minutes. That's what everywhere else does.
Well, then there would be a lot more Yelp reviews about how they couldn't go to the bathroom.
I go to places and I can't go into the fucking restroom because they're cleaning it.
Yeah.
Like, seriously?
Like, seriously.
Fine. I'll just piss in your booth.
That's right.
And then I'm like, wait a second. I'm a civilized human being. Not gonna
Yeah.
piss in a booth.
Not gonna piss in a booth. Don't knock my picture.
But yeah.
What was your last and final good story that you have?
Oh. So I do have one more story to tell you.
Okay.
This also involves a regular.
Okay.
Before that, I just want to say, so I used to work at this restaurant. We used to work together full time, and then I stopped working there, and I was only working there on the weekends. I was
Right.
working at a production company,
Right.
and then I got sent out into the field, and so I was managing these productions all over the country,
Yeah.
and that's when I quit full time last year, and so I've been traveling like nuts. I got back. I got into like producing and whatnot, which has been fun. But I think about you guys and I think about serving all the time. It's insane. And I actually, so for fun, I like to go to estate sales.
Oh, okay.
And there was one in Los Feliz. It was the largest craftsman style home in the country. This thing was like almost 14, there was like 13 something thousand square feet, craftsman style home, Los Feliz. Then the neighbor, this guy's neighbor was Brad Pitt.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. It was nuts. It was insane. So we went there, and as my boyfriend, husband, future husband, um, as we were about to leave, um, we had to be shuttled up from the bottom of the hill all the way up to this house
Jesus.
because it was this little section of the hill was gated,
Yeah.
and then there was another gate for this house, and so we had to be shuttled all the way to the house. And as we were leaving, I saw a couple regulars get out, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And these were people who I loved, absolutely loved.
Who was this?
It was, but I ran into them.
No way.
Yeah, it was so nice. Like seeing it's nice. Like it's people like them. It's the people that I will always remember. That I want to run into.
Yeah.
And so I actually just came across an email address and phone number of an older couple that came in all the time.
Yeah.
That I absolutely loved. They were regulars and they were just fantastic. But so this leads me into my story. There was a regular who I feel like personally he was a bar top person. Most of the people were kind of indifferent of him. He was there like every day. He would bring in like family members and cousins and shit like that.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about.
Starts with a T.
Yep, and ends with a...
Why?
And ends with a, oh my god.
Why you here?
Yeah. Yeah. His wife was very nice, though.
She was.
Is, still, I guess.
Was, whatever. I don't give a fuck. So he would come in all the time, whatever.
Right.
But then, and so I noticed he would always bring in his peppers. Do you remember this? So he would bring in his peppers, and he would just like rave about these things. Like, oh, I grew these peppers. They're like orange, yellow, red peppers.
Yeah.
And then, so I was working at this place. There were two bars. There was a front bar and a back bar.
Yeah.
And I was working the back bar at the time, and he came in, and he had ordered our an appetizer, and he brought in these peppers that he would this homegrown peppers that he was always bring in.
Yeah.
And then he pulls out a small cutting board.
He did?
A small cutting board. I kid you not. He ordered an appetizer.
Yeah.
Pulls out this cutting board, and then he pulls out this little box, and it's a small knife set. And so he has like his homegrown peppers.
Yeah.
He has a cutting board and he has a knife set. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? You can't just bring your own shit into a restaurant. He's like, oh, no. He's like, I grew these at home. So his appetizer comes out. He's cutting up these peppers with his own cutting board and his own knife set.
Yeah.
And then, of course, he's like screaming across the bar. And then his appetizer comes out. He puts the peppers on these mushrooms, spinach stuffed mushrooms.
He got... Oh, I thought you were talking about the chicken wings.
No. And he was telling me about these peppers, and he's like, yeah, they're not that hot. And he's like, you need to try one. I was like, I really can't do like spicy. I really can't do spicy. I could do like very mild, and that's it. And so he's cutting up these peppers, putting them on these spinach stuffed mushrooms.
Oh my god.
Cutting them up into like bite-sized pieces. He's handing them out to the entire bar.
Oh my god.
And then he's like insisting that I have some, and I'm like, no, I'm fine. I haven't had my break yet. I'm starving.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay, fine. I'll have one bite. So he gives me a bite.
He gives you a bite.
He gives me a bite, and I eat it. And then, like, 2 seconds later, I'm dying. This was the hottest pepper, the hottest thing I've ever eaten, ever. I mean, I'm starting to sweat. I don't sweat. I'm starting to sweat. And I'm in this bar all by myself. And then I'm starting to get acid indigestion.
Oh, God.
I mean, instantly.
That's the worst.
And I'm like dying, and I'm like taking chugs of water. I'm like, fuck. I'm like screwed. I'm like, and I'm just, my mouth is on fire. My entire body is just like disgusted that I just ate these peppers. And I think I was being a little overdramatic about it, but whatever.
Happens.
And so one of my coworkers from the front bar, the main bar, came back, and I was like, can you please just cover this bar for like 10 minutes?
Yeah.
So I ran to the employee restrooms. So the employees' restrooms, it's a men's restroom, and so I'm like salivating like insanely.
Yeah.
Now before I puke, this is what happens to me. I start salivating like a madman. And there's somebody in the men's restroom.
Yeah.
So then I run around the corner because something bad's about to happen, and I run into the women's restroom, and I'm just hovering over the woman's toilet, and I start puking because of this fucking pepper.
Jesus.
And as I'm puking, I'm screaming, I hate you, Tony. Sorry, Tony, if you ever hear this.
Yeah, probably not.
I hate you. I hate you. So I'm screaming this, and this toilet is pressed up against the men's restroom, and so the guy who was in the restroom comes into the women's restroom and is like, "Are you okay?" Like, to check on me.
Yeah.
It was embarrassing, but it was absolutely
you know what?
ridiculous.
You're not the first person that he's done that to. I've heard that story.
No way.
I've heard that story from a few people, yeah.
That he's made puke?
That he's made try the peppers.
He's like, he said they weren't that hot, but it was, I kid you not, it was the hottest thing I've ever eaten.
It was probably a habanero. My college roommate did that to me once. I was sitting at my desk doing some homework, and she was like, here, like, my uncle grew these peppers, you should try one. And I bit it off, and like, yeah, I wanted to fucking die. I wanted to die. It was the worst ever. And it's terrible. Like, there's nothing, if you're not a spice person, then there's nothing worse than having somebody fucking be like, here, try this, and you're not going to like it because you don't like spices, but whatever, it's fine. And then you're like, yeah, thank you, I want to kill myself now.
It was so fucking hot.
Do you know the remedy for that?
Like milk?
Yeah. Because water just makes it...
I don't remember if I actually got milk, because we had milk.
Yeah.
And I may have gotten milk, but because I actually thought about that, and I can't remember if I actually went and got milk, because I knew where it was.
I would have just chugged the gallon.
But whatever I did to try to make it stop, it just wasn't stopping.
Oh my God.
And once my acid indigestion started, it was I was like, and then I started getting nauseous, and I was like, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
And thank God for our coworker to come back and like watch the bar for me.
Who did that
for 10
you?
minutes? Brie.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and mind you, this goes to show that, again, you know, servers and bartenders, we're human beings. Things happen. We get upset stomachs. We get sore throats. We get sick. We get tired. We get achy. Things happen. We get cut. We're not machines. Like,
Yeah.
we are humans.
I'm handling your food, and I do get diarrhea. I just want you to know that.
Just know that.
I do puke. Like a fucking
But it
maniac.
happens. So when you see
Yeah.
that your bartender is having a rough go, or your servers, you know, maybe they're having an uncomfortable situation. Maybe something's happening physically or inside their body or whatever. So have some sympathy. All right, Brennan's making my dog real riled up, so I think that's us wrapping. Brennan, thank you so much for being on the podcast today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you everybody
I look forward to doing this again, hopefully.
doing it again. Yeah.
Well, not as a server though.
Ooh, as something else maybe.
Yeah.
Brennan might become my new producer, so
if I ever go back to serving,
come up with some good stories.
that'll be a low point. Yeah. Hey, maybe I'll do that just for research.
Maybe. Hey.
Yeah.
All you have to do is do it for like a week and you have research.
Yeah. R&D.
Yeah.
I know they'll hire me back.
Oh, they hire anyone. They'll hire anybody back, but they'll definitely hire you back. Thank you everybody for listening, and goodbye. Yeah, what's this drink that you're making?
So this is a an Aperol spritz.
An Aperol spritz.
Yes, it's Prosecco, Aperol,
Yeah.
and soda water
Okay.
with a orange slice. Typically served in a wine glass, but I brought margarita glasses because they were in the back in my trunk.
Yeah. And you didn't bring any soda water or orange slices.
No, I
No.
don't want to dilute it.
Yeah. What's
Why?
the point?
My grandma actually turned me on to this.
That
This is her
seems
jam
kind of like
too.
a grandma drink. a little
Well,
Aperol Prosecco.
Chelsea Handler drinks it too.
Oh, does she?
Yeah,
How do you know that?
because I'm obsessed with her.
Don't whisper.
Oh, because I'm obsessed with her.
You see, that's what happens when you whisper.
Because I'm obsessed with her.